Hi, I'm Dr. Nadav Askari, CTO of Genetika Plus, an innovative Israeli startup that aims at finding the best treatment for what is often termed an epidemic of modern times. I'm talking about major depressive disorder, also known as clinical depression. According to the World Health Organization, depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide, with more than 300 million people globally suffering from this disease. Depression can be fatal, as every 80 seconds, one of these individuals commits suicide. As a result of COVID-19, these numbers have risen as much as threefold. When treating a patient with depression, the doctor must choose from one of 70 different medications. But because it is an extremely heterogeneous disease with varied clinical manifestations and treatment responsiveness, the current strategy for antidepressant prescription is unfortunately trial and error. This trial and error method is time consuming, cannot prevent drug overuse, often leads to unnecessarily high dosages, and can lead to severe unwarranted side effects and recurrent drug selection failures. As much as 63% of patients do not respond to the treatment and are therefore required to try multiple medications. As it takes 4 to 6 weeks to test each drug, patients lose months to years of their lives to the search for the right drug. Our platform stops this trial and error process, take it out of the patient and into the lab where it belongs. At Genetika Plus, we're developing a simple blood test which combines the patient's genetics, patient history, and our unique neuronal biomarkers to provide the right treatment to each patient. All of this data is processed by our unique algorithms to ultimately generate a rational recommendation about the right drug for each depression patient. By doing so, we improve several aspects of the disease at once. On the patient side, matching precisely the right drug to each patient reduces the side effects and improves the prognosis. It also eliminates the devastating effects of having to be tested for drug after drug. And as a result, the quality of life improves dramatically. This literally saves lives. Our platform minimizes the physician's burnout by offering an easy-to-use online app that gathers and combines multiple patient parameters to generate an antidepressant drug recommendation in a summarized report. This leads to prescribing a more accurate drug with substantially higher success rates. This will ultimately allow practitioners to better employ their time and reduce their associated costs. I have not mentioned the tremendous economic burden of depression, which is estimated to be as high as $210 billion every year. WHO data suggests that depression accounts for 6% of the burden of all diseases in Europe in terms of disability-adjusted life years. Our platform can reduce the years lived with disability and shorten the sick leave times and disability payments by improving depression treatment and minimizing the number of treatment iterations. As a result, the workflow of the healthcare system is improved with fewer hospitalizations, fewer emergency room visits, and lower healthcare costs related to depression. So how does our RxMine platform work? The process begins with a simple blood sample drawn from a depression patient. Once the sample arrives at the Genetika Plus labs, we create a brain on a dish. Through our innovative science, we were able to convert blood cells into neurons and grow them in culture. Once these neurons are established, multiple drugs can be screened on them, and the cellular and genetic response is being carefully analyzed. This data is then fed to our unique AI-based algorithm, which incorporates patient information from a growing database. We compare the patient's data record against hundreds of thousands of other patients' histories and drug responses, cross-referencing the information using a proprietary algorithm that is automatically updated with the latest information on current antidepressant treatments. By using machine learning models to match each person to the right antidepressant candidates, a personalized drug recommendation is then delivered to the physician in a tailored report, supporting the doctor's decision to prescribe the optimal treatment for the patient. So we're essentially matching proven medications using neurons from patients' own cells. Once our novel brain on a dish is established, we analyze neurobiological and genetic biomarkers that differentiate responsive from non-responsive patients. Neurons from drug responding patients have different morphology and synaptic connections compared to neurons from non responding patients. We were able to measure this difference by state of the art high throughput microscopic instrumentation. Our findings were recently published in a peer reviewed high impact psychiatry scientific journal. On the RNA level, we were able to discover a set of specific genes which are correlated to mental illness, the products of which are differently altered significantly between drug responders and non responders. Some genes are upregulated and some are downregulated, such that we were able to create a unique fingerprint for drug responders and non responders. We have patented these novel molecular biomarkers, which help predict the patient's response to different drugs. Our algorithm automatically generates a personalized ranking of each drug based on parameters that are unique for each patient, including their medical history, genetic background, and the biomarkers identified in our labs. This information is incorporated into the physician report. Our physician portal captures all the doctor needs to know about the patient's responsiveness to the various antidepressants. It includes an in-depth medication analysis, as well as information about specific adverse effects and our neuronal and genomic findings that complements the picture. Finally, a tailored final report is generated, which forecasts the patient's response to the different drugs. This forecast extends beyond the first line medication, resulting in a no wait for the next line therapy, saving uncertainty to the prescriber and suffering to the patient. The company's leadership team includes experienced PhDs from high-end universities with rich background in large pharmaceutical corporates such as Teva and Merck, where I come from. We have a highly skilled R&D team, including expert stem cell scientists, microscopy experts, and data scientists to support our pipeline. We also have an advisory team with regulatory pricing and reimbursement expertise, researching on assure regulatory compliance and payer reimbursement in the long term. Here's a list of some of the top prizes that were awarded to Genetika Plus in the past couple of years, including Mass Challenge Accelerator, Women's Startup Competition, Ground Up Ventures March Madness Competition, Israel Brain Tech, and EY Digital Health. Genetika Plus was also recently named a top 5 startup from around the world tackling depression by Startup Insight. I encourage you to visit our website and social media pages to learn more about our technology and the way it can improve the lives and save lives of so many. Thank you.